Every single morning you wake up and your mouth feels like sandpaper. You reach for water before you even reach for your phone. You assume it's the air. Maybe you slept with your mouth open. Maybe the room was too warm. You drink, you move on, and you don't think about it again. That's exactly what Stephen did for 2 years. Stephen was 54. He ran a small hardware store. He coached his grandson's soccer team on weekends. By every measure, he was a healthy, active man. And every morning, without fail, he woke up feeling like he'd spent the night in a desert. He told me about it almost as an afterthought, during a routine checkup while he was putting his jacket back on. "Oh, one more thing," he said. "My mouth is always dry when I wake up. Is that normal?" It was the most important question he asked that day. My name is Dr. Patricia Holloway. I'm a board-certified internist and sleep medicine specialist. I've spent 22 years seeing patients, and I can tell you with complete honesty that morning dry mouth is one of the most consistently underestimated symptoms I encounter. Not because it's rare, because it's so common that people have stopped noticing it. Pause. But your body hasn't stopped sending the signal. What I want to do today is walk you through exactly what a persistent dry mouth on waking can actually mean, starting with the explanations you probably already know and moving steadily toward the ones that change everything. Because some of what I'm going to share with you has nothing to do with how you breathe when you sleep. And one of those things is what we found in Stephen. Let's start with what most people assume first. When you tell your doctor your mouth is dry in the morning, the first thing they'll often check is whether you're breathing through your mouth at night. And that's a reasonable place to begin. When you sleep with your mouth open, either because of nasal congestion, a deviated septum, or simply habit, the airflow across your oral tissues evaporates the moisture your saliva is working to maintain. You wake up dry. Problem identified. Problem solved. Or so the thinking goes. But here's what that explanation misses. Saliva isn't just moisture. It's one of your body's most active defense systems. I always explain it to patients this way. Imagine your mouth as a garden. Saliva is the irrigation system. It doesn't just keep things wet. It delivers antimicrobial proteins, buffers the acids that bacteria produce, and continuously bathes your teeth and gums in protective minerals. When the irrigation shuts down for 8 hours, which is essentially what happens during sleep, the entire garden becomes vulnerable. Pause. This is why people who consistently wake up with dry mouths have a significantly higher incidence of tooth decay, gum inflammation, and oral infections. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Clinical Periodontology found that individuals with chronic nocturnal dry mouth had more than twice the rate of periodontal disease compared to those without the condition. Twice. Not marginally more. Twice. And periodontal disease, as we'll come back to later, is not just a mouth problem. So if you've noticed your gums bleeding a little more than they used to, or your dentist has started mentioning words like recession or bone loss, pay attention here. The dry mouth that seemed like a nuisance may already be quietly doing damage you can't see in the mirror. Before I move on, have you been waking up with a dry mouth for more than a few weeks? Type yes in the comments if this sounds familiar. I ask because what I'm about to go through next is genuinely important, and I want you to know you're not alone in this. Now, and this is where we start to move past the obvious, let's talk about something most people have never connected to dry mouth at all. Medication. Over 400 commonly prescribed drugs list dry mouth as a side effect. 400. That number comes from the American Dental Association's own research database, and it includes medications that millions of people take every day without a second thought. Antihistamines, antidepressants, blood pressure medications, diuretics, antipsychotics, bladder control medications, and several classes of pain relievers. Think of it like this. Many of these medications work by blocking certain chemical signals in your body. Your salivary glands respond to those same chemical signals. So when the medication dampens one system, it inadvertently silences another. The glands don't receive the instruction to produce saliva the way they normally would, especially overnight when your body is already producing 80 to 90% less saliva than it does during waking hours. This is one of the reasons morning dry mouth hits so much harder than daytime dryness. The night amplifies everything your medication is already doing. Here's what I want you to take from this. If you started a new medication in the last 6 to 12 months and noticed your morning mouth feeling different around the same time, that connection is worth raising with your prescribing doctor, not to stop the medication, but because substitutions exist. Dosing adjustments can help. And in some cases, simply changing when you take the medication can reduce the nocturnal effect significantly. Don't assume it's something you just have to live with. That assumption has cost people years of unnecessary discomfort. But here's what makes this genuinely more serious. There is a condition that makes your body attack its own moisture-producing glands. Not gradually, systematically. It's called Sjogren's syndrome, and most people who have it spend years before they receive the correct diagnosis. The Sjogren's Foundation estimates that approximately 4 million Americans are currently living with the disease. On average, it takes nearly 3 years from first symptom to confirmed diagnosis. 3 years of dry mouth, dry eyes, fatigue, and joint pain, frequently dismissed, frequently attributed to aging, frequently left untreated. The reason this matters is what Sjogren's does beyond the dryness. Sjogren's is a systemic autoimmune condition. When it goes undiagnosed and untreated, the inflammation that attacks your salivary and tear glands can extend to your kidneys, your lungs, your peripheral nervous system, and in some cases, your heart. It is not simply a comfort problem. It is a disease that can cause organ damage. Think of it like a fire that starts in one room and spreads through the walls, invisible from the outside, until the structure is already compromised. The classic presentation is persistent dry mouth combined with dry eyes, especially that gritty burning sensation in the eyes that tends to worsen as the day goes on. But Sjogren's can present with fatigue so overwhelming that people have been misdiagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome for years. It can present with joint swelling that looks like early rheumatoid arthritis. It presents differently in different people, which is part of why it's missed so consistently. If you are a woman between the ages of 40 and 60, the numbers are especially significant. Sjogren's affects women at a ratio of 9 to 1 compared to men. That is not a small discrepancy. That is a condition with a profound gender imbalance that still receives far less awareness than it should. This next one. I want you to stay with me because this is the sign I wish more people asked me about. Let me come back to Stephen for a moment. After his appointment, I ordered a standard blood panel along with one additional test, a fasting glucose check. He wasn't a man who had any obvious risk factors. Healthy weight, moderately active, no family history he was aware of. His fasting glucose came back at 118 milligrams per deciliter. Pre-diabetic, morning dry mouth and prediabetes are connected in a way that is both direct and deeply underappreciated. Here's what's happening inside the body. When blood sugar runs chronically elevated, even at pre-diabetic levels, the kidneys begin working harder to filter and excrete the excess glucose. They pull water from the body to do it. That increased urination depletes your fluid levels overnight. And when your fluid levels drop, one of the first places it shows up is your mouth. I always describe it to patients like this. Your kidneys are working overtime as the cleaning crew, using extra water to flush out the sugar. By morning, the whole building is running low on water supply, and your mouth feels it first. The CDC reports that 96 million American adults, that's more than 1 in 3, have pre-diabetes. And 80% of them don't know it. Stephen was one of those 80%. The morning dry mouth didn't cause his pre-diabetes, but it was his body's way of waving a flag, quietly, consistently, every single day for 2 years. The question is whether you recognize the flag for what it is. Here's what I want you to understand. Pre-diabetes is reversible. Not managed, reversed. Studies published in the New England Journal of Medicine have shown that lifestyle intervention, targeted changes to diet and movement, can reduce the progression from pre-diabetes to type 2 diabetes by more than 58%. But you cannot act on what you don't know. Waking up dry every morning and blaming the weather is how 2 years pass. Let that sit for a moment before I move forward, because what I just described is a mechanism that is quietly running in tens of millions of people right now. Every morning they wake up, drink a glass of water, and move on. And the window for reversing this gets a little smaller each time. Which brings me to something that connects the dry mouth to something almost nobody talks about, and something that, if left unchecked, can affect every organ system in your body. Sleep apnea. Obstructive sleep apnea is perhaps the most underdiagnosed condition linked to morning dry mouth in existence, and the connection isn't subtle. When you repeatedly stop breathing during sleep, which is what happens in sleep apnea, your brain panics. It forces your airway open with a gasp. That gasp pulls air through your mouth. It dries your throat. It dries your tongue. And by morning, your mouth is parched in a way that no amount of water seems to fully fix immediately. But the dry mouth is the least of what's happening. According to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, approximately 30 million Americans have obstructive sleep apnea, and 23 million of them remain undiagnosed. Every episode of stopped breathing creates a surge in stress hormones, a spike in blood pressure, and a drop in blood oxygen levels. You don't remember these episodes, but your cardiovascular system does. Long-term untreated sleep apnea is associated with a 200 to 300% increased risk of hypertension. It significantly elevates the risk of atrial fibrillation, stroke, and heart failure. And because the person experiencing it rarely knows they stopped breathing, they just know they're tired in the morning and their mouth is dry. Years can pass before the diagnosis is made. Think of it like this. Every night your heart is being asked to run a sprint it doesn't know it's running. The dry mouth is the part you notice. The cardiovascular damage is the part that's happening in the background. If you snore heavily, if you wake feeling unrested no matter how many hours you sleep, if your partner has ever described you as stopping breathing at night, please hear what I'm telling you. This is not a sleep inconvenience. This is a medical condition with serious cardiac consequences, and it's treatable. Completely treatable in most cases, but only once it's diagnosed. Now I want to talk about something that tends to appear later in these conversations, something that most doctors don't bring up until the picture has already become complicated. What morning dry mouth can signal about the state of your nervous system. Your autonomic nervous system, the part of your brain and body that runs all the systems you don't consciously control, heart rate, digestion, breathing, and saliva production, can be disrupted by several serious neurological conditions. Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, diabetic autonomic neuropathy, which is nerve damage caused by chronically elevated blood sugar. When the autonomic system starts to malfunction, one of the early and often overlooked signs is a change in saliva production. Not just dryness, but a different kind of dryness. Thick, sticky, sometimes with a changed taste. A mouth that doesn't feel simply dry, but feels wrong in a way that's hard to describe. There's something important here in the timing. This kind of dryness often doesn't improve throughout the day the way simple dehydration does. You drink water and feel better for a few minutes, and then the dry, thick sensation returns. That persistence, that stubbornness, that's a signal worth flagging. A 2021 paper in the journal Neurological Sciences noted that autonomic dysfunction affecting salivary gland secretion is present in the early stages of Parkinson's disease in a meaningful subset of patients, sometimes years before motor symptoms become noticeable. Years before the tremor. The body is whispering long before it starts to shout. This is the part of medicine I find most humbling. The body is enormously patient with us. It repeats itself. It sends the same quiet signal morning after morning, waiting for someone to stop and listen. Before I close, I want to come back to Stephen one more time. He caught his prediabetes early. He made changes, real ones. He worked with a registered dietitian. He started walking 30 minutes in the evening. When I saw him 8 months later, his fasting glucose had dropped to 97, comfortably within the normal range. He told me he hadn't felt that clear-headed in years. He also told me he almost didn't mention the dry mouth. I thought it was nothing, he said. I didn't want to waste your time. That sentence has stayed with me, because Stephen is not unusual. Most of the patients I've seen who catch something important early, they almost didn't mention it. They minimized it. They assumed their body's signals weren't worth a doctor's time. They were wrong, and I'm grateful they spoke up. So here is what I want you to do. Not someday, tonight. If you've been waking up with a dry mouth consistently, more than a few days a week for more than a month, write it down. The frequency, the severity, whether it's getting worse. And then bring that piece of paper to your next appointment, or schedule one specifically for it. Ask for a fasting glucose test. Ask whether any of your current medications could be contributing. Ask about a sleep study if you snore or wake feeling unrested. None of these are dramatic actions, but they are the difference between catching something early and catching it late. Tag someone in your life who wakes up with a dry mouth and brushes it off every morning. You might be giving them something they didn't know they needed. If this video reached you at the right time, if something I said made you think of your own mornings differently, please like it and share it. It genuinely helps this kind of information find the people who need it most. And if you have questions about anything I covered today, or if you want to share what brought you here, leave it in the comments. I read them, and I answer when I can. Your body is not being dramatic. It's talking to you. Every morning. The only question is whether you're ready to listen.